Hello, welcome to STCPod episode 276. I am your host, Bill. It's just me. I'm still waiting for my partner who messaged me earlier today that he would be ready to go at 9:30. It's now 9:50. Still no Joe. So well, let's just get it going. What can we do? Sit and wait for Joe forever? What could he be doing? I got one good guess what he's doing. I can guess that he's passed out. Very well passed out. Hopefully it's just something like that. Nothing serious has happened to him. Hopefully he'll be along anytime now. If anyone else wants to come in and throw me a lifeline and jump in as a temporary co-host, please let me know in the chat. I'll throw a link to you and you can be on this very show immediately. But what I might do besides that, maybe I've texted him a few times. Maybe we can do a live phone call with him and you can hear what he sounds like when he wakes up. What do you think about that? Should we try that out? It's now 9:51. Full 20 minutes past his go time. We were going to do this. Of course, we like doing these recordings earlier in the week. We could have done it Monday or Tuesday. Didn't hear from Joe those days. So it got put off until Friday, Good Friday. And Joe left me a message that he can't do it on Friday. He's too tired. Says, I'm too tired. I can't do it. Too tired. Okay. He's too tired. Then today he sends me a message from the text machine. Probably good tonight. Good for 9:30. By the way, he did 9:30 with a semicolon, not a full colon. If you want to send it out. So I say, okay. And we get that going. We get the recording set up. We get the promotion set up. Everything's pumped out there. Ready to go. 9:30. Kids are in bed. Everything is squared away. I got my SodaStream water ready to go. Down here at 9:30. Everything's set. Ready to go. Got you guys here helping me out. No Joe. 9:36. I text him. Hey, it happens to be past 9:30 now. No answer. 9:39. Another text to him. Hello, still waiting. No answer. Now it is 9:52. Time to actually call. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when we actually call. What the live on-air excuse is going to be. Calling. Ringing. I don't have my phone on me. It's at night. I turn it off.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice messaging system.
There you go.
9059.
Whoop. Better turn that off where the phone number goes out. There it is, folks. Quality podcasting duo right there. It's easy to see why we've made it 276 episodes already. So again, the call is put out there. If anyone watching wants to get in on a live podcast, I'll take live caller all day long. Got my headset here. I can have you up in 2 seconds. You just say on the chat, get me in. I send you the link and away we go. Because besides that, I do have stuff to talk about. I can talk about stuff. it's just like if Joe was here anyways, where if I start talking for more than 10 seconds, he zonks out for a bit. Oh, I hope my phone isn't making the feedback noise. You guys will have to let me know. If you're there in the chat, say hello, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel. It's all good times. You'll get lots of good stuff if you hit subscribe to this YouTube channel. So today is Saturday, which is Holy Saturday, right? We had Good Friday yesterday, Holy Saturday today. Sunday is Easter Sunday, of course. Hey, Lotus Stark's in the chat. Hi, Lotus. It's good to see a friendly chat in there. We're going in alone tonight. We're still waiting for Joe. Let's see. Any text messages yet? Nothing on the text message. We're just going alone. If anyone wants to join in, let me know. So yeah, it's a weird Easter weekend. Kids have been home, of course. There's been no school, so there's been no like ramping up with the school stuff. You know how they ramp you up for Easter with the kids' crafts or anything like that. Hey, Eric's in the chat. So Easter kind of snuck up on me. I didn't get like typical Easter food like turkey or anything like that. So I don't know what we're gonna do for food tomorrow. I think maybe get some fancy takeout or something. I'll cheap out and not cook. And I'm not saying we would have went to church. I might have thought about it, but there's definitely no church happening this weekend either. So pretty weird. It's a weird weekend. So yeah, all because of the ongoing crisis that we're dealing with. This international crisis that's going on, which is extremely strange times we are living through. So I guess I want to tell you, I did hear a kind of tragic story this week about this kind of thing. And it had to do with, I don't know if you guys remember the Potter's House YouTube channel I set you guys on. This antique dealer who picked up this hoarding house, and it turned out to be a famous potter's house. And while going through the hoard, he came across all of, you know, her stuff and learned about her life and her pottery. And anyways, we got to, if you watch the series, you got to know him, you got to know his family, you got to know the people that helped him. So it's precedent that I talk about it here. So he always does live streams and catch up videos, you know, how you doing? This is what's going on. So he did, he hadn't done one in about a week, I guess. And then he came on this week to talk about it. Him and his wife came on, and they had tragic news to discuss that because of this whole thing, his father-in-law, like his wife's father, actually died from the virus this past week. And it's to me, it happened in a way that I didn't even think. I know people are dying in the hospitals and they're dying alone on ventilators and stuff like that. But this guy, if you watched any of the Potter videos, you got to know him. His name was Dave. Hold on, Lotus wants to join in for a minute. How am I going to do that for Lotus? You know what? I'll just throw the link in the chat here, Lotus. Hold on a second. Sorry, folks. Paste. Even if we get some randos clicking that link, that's okay. So Dave worked, he was 63 years old, and he worked at Home Depot throughout this whole thing. Home Depot was one of those stores that could stay open as an essential business. And so that's what he was doing, working his way through it. And one day they got a phone call from Dave, and he's like, I'm kind of worried because I have a fever now and I have a cough and all this is going on. And as they're talking to him on the phone, they can hear, like, it sounds like he just came from running up the stairs. You know, he had that kind of lack of breath. So we're like, okay, well, we got to get off the phone now, and you got to call this number that is set up for the province. So I think it's 811 or something. You can call for info if you have questions about it. So he got off the phone with them and called 811, and they talked him through, and okay, you need to get off the phone with us. You need to actually call an ambulance and get an ambulance over to check you out. So he does that. He gets off the phone with them, calls an ambulance. The ambulance comes to check him out, and he's still on the phone with the family, keeping them up to date. And the ambulance comes and checks him out, and they see that he has a fever and he has a cough, but they checked his oxygen saturation, blood saturation, and it was fine. And so they're like, you know what, we kind of think this is just a cold or a flu type situation, so just hunker down and you'll be fine, get over it. And she's like, oh, okay. So they go on their way, no test or anything like that, and they don't talk to him any further about it. And the family takes them at the paramedics' word too, and they're like, okay, we'll just hunker down and get over it, and we'll keep talking to you. So they talk to him on a daily basis, and he did get a fever really bad and shortness of breath and all that. And then the next day he had called them, but he actually wanted them to go do errands with him. He's like, oh, I got to get the truck fixed. We need to go get this spare part. I want to work on the trucks. And they're like, oh, he must be feeling better. He wants to do all this stuff. And they're like, well, we can't obviously go hang out with you because you're quarantined because you're showing symptoms and all that. So we can't actually help you out. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, I did go to the doctor and doctor said that was fine. And they're like, what? There's no way he could have got to the doctor. His truck needs a part. It's not working. I don't know how that's working. So as they're pondering it later, they're thinking, he's not making sense. He makes sense a little bit, and then other times he's not making sense. This is what they're putting together well after the fact, by the way. Of course, the next day comes, and it was either that day or the day after. They couldn't raise him on the phone, and turns out he had died in his sleep at home. He lived by himself. So I didn't even consider the fact that there's people out there dying from this just at home, You get told to hunker down, and you still got to watch out for yourself. You got to watch out for other people, and you got to keep looking after people. And if it doesn't seem right to you, you got to push and ask for the proper help, and get a second opinion, and go get the test. Do whatever it takes. Lotus, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, it's good to hear from you, sir.
What's going on, Bill?
Not too much, just doing a podcast.
Yeah.
On my own.
Yeah, I see that. I saw in the chat that you were waiting for Joe to show
up. Just got breaking news from the text. Joe Frigg fell asleep. Shocking. Be right on if you still want to. No shocker there, right? Right, guys? Yeah. So what do you think of that story, Lotus? Were you able to...
I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, this is very weird times that we're in. I mean, I've never experienced any of this in my lifetime. I almost, I mean, today I did go to Walmart today. Basically what they're doing is they have the entrance and exits are all kind of cordoned off, and they have like shopping carts that are used as barriers. And basically what they do is they make you get in line, and then they have little markers on the ground for 6 feet in between. And what they're doing is they're actually counting the amount of people that are going in the store. So I guess there's a maybe they've done the math to figure out what their square footage is for the actual store, and then figured out what that would calculate out to for a 6-foot barrier between everyone, I guess. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the idea.
Hmm.
So so they're as people exit, they're communicating with each other. They have a little application that they seem to be using on their phones, and I'm guessing it's counting the people that are entering and counting the people that are exiting.
Yeah. Yeah. My grocery store, there's just a security guard at the door, and he just seems to be watching when someone leaves. He lets someone in, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah,
As simple as that.
yeah.
But
It's just it's
yeah,
weird. It's a weird situation that we're in. I mean, I think I don't know how if you're seeing that over there, but over here, I mean, I'm seeing people that are wearing the you know the N95 mask, and then they're also wearing the newest thing that I've seen is they're wearing the mask, and then they're using this Dexter style face blood splatter face shield, almost like a not a welding mask, but it's like a blood
right.
splatter over everything. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just do you feel that things are going a little too far, and the public is a little bit too scared at this point?
It's both ways, right? You got public
Yeah.
that's too scared, and then you got public that are still waving this off as not important or not serious. So I'd
Yeah.
rather see people with the face guard than not taking it seriously at all.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just kind of feel the face guard is just it's just taken a little bit too far. I think I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you're doing when you're going out. I'm not wearing a mask. So I'm not masked. I'm not wearing the gloves. Uh you know, I'm not touching anything. I'm not touching anything on the shelves unless I buy it.
Yep.
I'm not touching shopping carts. I don't use a shopping cart. I just respect everything, and when I see these people that are wearing these masks and face shields and stuff, I'm avoiding them because I don't I mean, I almost feel like they're the ones that are sick.
Yeah,
So,
and that's the benefit. Like, for you to wear a mask, it's more protecting other people from you than the other way around.
yeah, that's what they're saying. But
So
but then again, the majority of these people that are wearing the mask, at least from what I've seen, is there's gaps in the mask, and you know, it, I see people that are, they'll they'll readjust the mask, and they'll touch, really close to their eye, and you know, I don't know. I'm not wearing a mask, so I don't have any interest in touching my eye.
oh, exactly. If I were to wear a mask, I know my face would be all over that mask. My hands would be all over the
Right,
mask
right,
all the time fixing it. So I
yeah,
know it would be worse for me. So no, I don't wear anything.
yeah. I mean, like I said, just respect the area that you're in, and just don't touch everything.
Yeah, and I got the Purell in the vehicle. As soon as you get in the vehicle, Purelled up, and you're back to clean. So
Yeah.
keep the vehicle clean, keep your house clean.
I mean, so I'm kind of doing my own little experiment. I'm not, so I'm not using Purell. So what I've decided, I mean, I wash my hands every time I enter the house. Anyone who enters the house, washes their hands. And, I mean, I've been doing that for years. It's the first thing I do.
Sure.
Before I even put the groceries away, I wash my hands. It's just very simple. But yeah, I'm not going to that length of doing the Purell. And so this may sound goofy, but I'm kind of the mindset of just breathing the virus in a little bit every day. Okay. So just, I go to the store, just take a little bit of a breath, and just take it a little every day, and my body will just become strong and build up its own immunity against it. So that's how I'm dealing with it. And we'll see if it works.
Okay. Yeah. That's like the Princess Bride take on it. Take a
Oh.
little bit of the iocane every day to build up resistance.
Sure. Why not?
Okay, yeah, that's one way. Sure, I started the show by talking about a guy who died, but you know.
I'm super healthy. I'm super healthy, and I'm not a person that normally gets sick. So maybe that's to my benefit. I don't have allergies or anything that would make me. I mean, if I were to get sick, I would know it very, very quickly because
Oh, that's good.
I don't get sick. So
I have seasonal allergies, so like every day I wake up thinking I have this virus for
see,
sure.
so how is that? How is that? Like if your nose is running or something like that, and you go into Home Depot, I mean, are people going to look at you like, "Oh my goodness," or are they?
Oh yeah,
I mean, what about all the allergy suffer? I mean, this is allergy time, right?
yeah. Do not cough or anything, or wipe your nose. Well, you shouldn't be wiping your nose because if you're out there touching product and then
Yeah.
touch your nose, Joe's having trouble with the link. Come on, dude. I sent 2 already. Hey, Adam's in the chat too. I want to say hi to Adam for showing up again. It's good times. But yeah, it just kind of, when I heard that story, it just kind of took me as, oh my God, because they're telling so many people to go home and ride it out if you're generally healthy. And if you're living alone and you're riding it out and, you just go to sleep that night, you don't know that it's getting worse. Actually, so I did want to tell people, here's a little health tip. If you have a Samsung phone, Lotus, Samsung phone, Galaxy 6 and up to 10, I believe, they have oxygen sensors on it. So that's one of the things that this virus does, right? It attacks your lungs and your oxygen blood saturation level is going to go down, right? And that's why they were thinking their father was sounding a little bit loopy, is because his brain wasn't getting enough oxygen.
Right.
So these Galaxy phones from 6 to 10 do have oxygen saturation level sensors on it. However, Samsung disabled that function earlier this year. Like,
that's funny.
It's ridiculous. They did. People assume they took away that functionality because they were worried about liability and the same old bullshit, right? Because it's not a registered medicinal instrument.
Yeah.
However, it is fairly accurate and it does work. So if you go into your Galaxy store, the Play Store, the Google Store, and look up Samsung Health and click on the 3 dots there at the top, and one of the options is uninstall. And it's not going to uninstall the app, but it's going to install all the updates that took away the functionality. So hit uninstall, and it'll take away all those updates, and then click on the 3 dots again and turn off auto update. And you'll see Samsung Health will again have the ability to check your blood oxygen saturation level. So
cool. That's a good tip.
Yeah, and keep it above. As long as you're above, 95% or something, you're good.
You say that. The funny thing about it is I've actually noticed just how basically when you do searches, that search history is there, and there's a lot of machine learning that's happening now with anytime we use a browser, that data is being kind of mined. And so but I did notice those blood oxygen sensors popping up as little ads on like the side area, like when you do searches and stuff now. So I think they're selling a lot of those on Amazon now, the little ones that just clip onto your finger. Or something like that.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo showed one.
Yeah, something real small little device with a nice LCD readout.
I just assume those are sold out ages ago, but maybe there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo on CNN, he has it, and he's been going through it, and so he showed off those things as well. But even him, who's going through it, as he's going through it, he started off saying one thing, and now he's completely changed his advice to other people going through it. Like at first he said, to hunker down and to ride out the fever, and he's like, because the body is the fever. The fever is the body's way of fighting this thing. So you let the fever happen and let it cook away. And a couple days later, he's like, no, wait, don't lay down, get up, move around, keep doing stuff, take Tylenol, get the fever down. It's like, what? No one knows.
Yeah.
No one knows what to do here.
They're saying that but that's the thing, is if you put too much stress on your body could actually shut down. But what he's saying is, if we fight it, and we actually exercise to kind of get it out of your system almost, that was, just to keep all your levels going, and have good breathing and all that. And that's kind of what he was kind of going for there. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, just like you said, all these doctors, they're constantly, I think it's that Sanjay Gupta. He's one of these TV guy, not TV, but he's one of these doctors that's always talking about this. And, he's basically saying, listen, if you got a runny nose, that's not the virus. It's definitely going to be something where it's going to be a deep lung kind of a thing, where it's going to be in your lungs. And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't wish it on anyone. I hope we all get through this. I mean, my thing right now is just the economy. Like I feel bad. Like I do a lot of walking. I like to walk around shopping centers, and, I just like to walk, and, having all those stores closed is just, it's a very weird experience. When I go to these shopping centers, the only thing that's open here in the States is Target. Out of this, it's a huge shopping center, and Target is really the only one that's doing business. Everything else, are just closed. And I just feel bad for all these people. And the unemployment system here is basically a disaster, from what I'm understanding. These people are trying to put applications in, and they're not being processed properly. So yeah, there's just a lot of stress going on right now. And there's supposed to be this some sort of a stimulus package that Trump is trying to put through. And yeah, it's just a total disaster right now, as far as the economy is concerned.
Yeah, I don't know how they will dig themselves out of this. There's so much money going out the door. It's not even funny for the support and all that.
Yeah,
it's going to be costly.
Yeah.
Hey, hi to Creep. Josh Creep is in the chat. It's good to see Josh stopping by. So I did hear the stock market is really bounced back today, though. Or not today. The end of the week.
Yeah, on Friday. Yeah, Friday I think it was a holiday. I don't think the stock market was open on Friday, but Thursday, the closing on Thursday, it was. Yeah, I mean, but it's been up and down. I mean, it's just been all over the place, and oil prices have been. I mean, we're getting really good fuel. Does that? Do you guys see any of that fuel? I mean, we buy all kinds of oil, so that's why, I mean, basically Trump, has a huge reserve of oil, so that's why he basically bought a huge amount of that. So I don't know if you guys see the fuel cost going down.
Oh yeah, Canada, big time. Big time. We haven't seen fuel prices this low in forever. But it's also killing us too. Like our own nation's oil supply has lost all of its value.
Yeah.
It's way less than what Texas crude is worth. Ours is virtually worthless right now. So I don't know how we're going to get out of that, because that's our main source of revenue. Our main export is oil. So anyways, did you hear the banging in the background? You know what that means.
Uh-oh.
I think someone woke up.
Oh, cool.
You think?
I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah.
How's my friend Lotus?
I'm doing well. I am doing well.
Good. Glad to hear it, man.
Yeah.
How about Bill? How's Bill doing?
Bill's pissed. Still pissed.
Sorry, dude. We can talk as long as you want, man. I know you like to flap the gums.
Oh, yeah?
I'm
I
sure
just
you're
went out on my own.
I know you had no problem filling the last 50 minutes.
Oh, I still waited 25 minutes for Prince Charming to wake up.
Oh, God. And then I had computer issues. I felt bad interrupting because I was listening to you and Lotus talk.
Yeah. What's with the 3 texts and in the chat about how to get into this? And I've sent you links across multiple devices. How did you not know how to get into this?
Oh, you're breaking up. Is that you or me?
I don't know. Lotus, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, it's not you, Bill. It's perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
Joe's. You're not breaking up though, Joe. You're still steady. As
No,
well.
your audio broke up on me completely. No, my phone was on vibrate. Sorry, man. God damn it.
What time
Anyway.
did you pass out tonight?
I don't know. About 9, I guess. I'm drinking bad wine. What do you want?
God damn it.
Sorry, dude. Anyway, don't want to interrupt. You guys were talking about gas prices.
Yeah, I was just talking about how cheap the gas price. I mean, we're down to in the States here, just for regular unleaded, we're down to $1.75, I believe. So that's for a gallon.
So what is it
I
normally
know-
like 2 and change for you guys, Lotus?
I mean, it's been, I would say before all this stuff, I would say it'd be probably about 225 around 225, and that's for a whole gallon. And I know you guys it's per liter, right? It's per
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean it's been dropping, and it seems like it's been dropping every week. It's been going down at least 10 cents or so.
We've plateaued at about 78 cents per liter at this probably for the last week or two, at least where I live.
Oh wow!
So it got as low as 67 cents for us one day, and then just jumped back up to 77, 78, and been sitting there. It's kind of nice though, like for those of us like Bill and I who still have to commute, and mind you, my commute's only about, I don't know, 35 kilometers, so I can do it in about 20 minutes. Bill's got about an hour and change. But man, it's sweet filling up. Quarter of a tank's costing me like $6.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as Josh was saying in the chat, the roads are
They're so
so
busy.
easy to drive.
No, they're
not
busy, man.
not in comparison. No way. It's amazing.
No, it's not stop and go, at least. But I'm not leaving anywhere except to go to work really or to the superstore. But the highways are, it's not stop and go, but there's more traffic than you would think there would be. Let's admit it, there's not. How many essential services are there really? So.
Yeah, that's interesting, the whole essential service thing, because like I said, they have Lowe's, Home Depot. Those are considered essential, which is kind of odd to me. I'm glad they are open because I've been doing a lot of yard work, so I've been building using retaining blocks and getting.
Is yours?
involved
Are you still allowed into the store, Lotus's, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
for us here, we have to call in now.
Oh,
And
interesting.
do like we order online and then we call in at pickup time.
Okay. Yeah, they offer pickup, but they're just doing the thing. I was explaining to Bill that basically they all the stores are doing the thing where they have an employee outside and they're calculating how many people go into the store, and they're only allowing a certain amount of people in the store at the same time, essentially.
Yeah, that's how most of our stores are now. Yesterday I went out for fish and chips for Good Friday, and I got to the fish and chip store at 4:30. I didn't get home till 6:30. So long it took me to get 4 orders of fish and chips.
Well, that's any Good Friday though. They're always rammed on Good
Never that bad, man. I've never had to wait 2 hours to get fish and chips. I was ready to murder somebody.
Yeah. It gets pretty insane here, but we don't have that many great fish and chip places in town here. So I had waffles. That was my Good Friday.
Waffles for Good Friday?
Yeah, waffles.
Dude, I was ready to eat meat. I was going to say, forget this, no meat on Good Friday.
Yeah, well, really, fish is cheating. So,
no, Jesus said it's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
He did.
So, what are you doing with like your takeout stuff? How are you dealing with that with contamination? What's your method? Because I know you're pretty crazy. How do you deal with it? Yeah,
Who are you talking to?
You were just talking when you brought takeout in.
What was the question?
How are you dealing with the takeout containers and stuff and contamination?
With the takeout? I'm just not putting stuff on. Like they put it into so yesterday they weren't allowing. They didn't limit how many people could go into the fish and chip store, but we were all sort of, we spread ourselves out as much as we could. They put it into the big brown paper bag. I brought it home. I didn't put anything onto the counter, like that kind of stuff. Just, I would take it out of the bag, put it down, and that was it. And then anything that we weren't touching or eating, immediately out into the garage, and then I'd wash my hands.
Did you have to clean the surface that you put the takeout food onto?
Sorry?
Did you have to clean the surface that you put the takeout food onto as you were getting it out of the bag?
I didn't. Maybe I should have, but.
Oh, did you order someone to do that for you?
They may have after dinner, but no, but even when I go, like I went grocery shopping on Wednesday, same thing. There was about 20 people in line to get into the superstore. It took me about 10 minutes to get in, which was surprising. And then when I bring everything home, it's the same thing, man. I don't put anything on the counter. It just stays on the floor. And I try to sanitize as best as I can.
Oh, I was going to say, and then someone else puts it away for you?
Is this my internet? Is this my internet or your internet?
It's got to be you.
What?
Can you hear Lotus? Lotus, talk to him.
It's Joe. It's probably your internet because I'm hearing you and I'm hearing Bill perfectly, but
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, Joe's pretty rock solid for me. It's pretty weird that just his reception is crapping out. Give it get out and come back in.
yeah, I mean, what's interesting, whenever I buy food, some of the cashiers are wearing gloves and some of the cashiers are not wearing gloves. And, if there's a self-checkout, I usually do the self-checkout kind of thing. But if there's no self-checkout available, I'll just go through a normal line. But yeah, they touch the stuff. And, honestly, Bill, I'm not disinfecting that stuff. I'm just doing the normal stuff, but I'm not licking the packages. I'm not doing anything crazy like that, but I'm not wiping it down with, they're basically saying to spray it with Clorox and stuff. I'm not doing that.
I know. I wish I could say I was, I had the restraint you do, but to me, and other people have said this, I'm just seeing now everything as being raw chicken. And that everything must be cleaned. I just can't help it. I got, 2 kids at home. The worst thing I'd want to do is bring that home. And it's bad enough I still got to go to work. And if one of us gets sick at work, man, that's gonna cripple the place for sure.
I mean, aren't they saying that, there really hasn't been any kids that have been affected by this? The kids are, I don't want to say that they're immune, but they're not, there's not a lot of reports of kids having any kind of respiratory problems from this virus, right?
Yeah, they are a low ratio, but it still happens for sure. There's still children dying of it, but
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
but it's very low.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Hold on, we can get Joe back in the chat here. Anyways, I didn't want the whole show to be about the virus, but I thought I'd share that story about the Curiosity Inc. people. I thought it was interesting. So keep an eye on the people that you're in contact with, and if they tell you to hunker down, keep an eye on yourself, I guess. So yeah, Joe, did you hear any of that story I started with?
No, I don't.
The Curiosity Inc. guy, the Potter House dude.
Did he run out of hair supply, hair products?
No, I was saying how his father-in-law died of the virus.
Oh shit.
And he, yeah, and he died in his sleep alone at home. And we always hear of
What, from Corona though, or just?
Yes.
Yeah.
And because paramedics told him he was fine, he just had a cold, and to hunker down. So don't necessarily listen to everyone's advice.
Yeah, but don't they check you for fever, like that thing?
He had a fever and he had a cough, but his oxygen saturation was fine at that point. But 4 days later, he lived by himself, so he was hunkering down.
That's
and,
crap.
Yeah. So I'm just it was a healthy warning to everyone out there, just to keep an eye on yourselves.
So the fact that I have a sore throat and hot flashes, nothing to be concerned about.
We all know you are patient zero of most of these things. It's happened before. I protect myself from you, as you've seen at work. I know to stay away. So you do whatever you want. Oh, he's got his wine. Adam says your internet. Adam says your internet had too much wine.
That's 2 shows in a row. My internet's cacked out, man. I don't know what's going on.
Do you
what
know
am I paying
that?
For?
Do you know that other countries other than Italy make wine? Did you know that?
No.
Like, how stereotypical that you were blasting an Italian wine all over social media.
What else do you expect me to buy?
Oh, we have great Canadian wines. Of course,
I've tried
French
them all.
wine is
I've
pretty
tried
famous.
all the Canadian wines. Don't like them.
German wines are great.
I like German beer.
Argentinian.
You don't even drink wine, Mr.
Says who?
What do you drink again? Those lady drinks.
I like wine. I just rarely have it because when I open a bottle, I have a glass and then the rest just goes bad. I keep
No, you
forgetting
plug
I
it
gotta
up.
keep
You can
drinking
save it for 2 days and it's still fine. Like normally, when I open a good bottle of wine, I'll savor it over 2 days. But this one I had to drink by myself. So this is the last of it.
Lotus, what kind of wine do you drink?
I don't drink. I just, I don't know.
Make him feel bad, Bill. Put him on the spot.
I just, I mean, when I was younger, I used to drink, but no, I don't.
Don't succumb to Bill's peer pressure there, Lotus.
So what did everyone drink when they were young? I'm talking like, your first drink or whatever when you're, mine was, I don't know if you guys had it, but you guys, you ever hear of Zima?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was, so Zima was something that I was always getting when I was younger. I mean, I wasn't buying it. The neighborhood guy would buy it.
That was a malted beverage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a clear. Came in a cool bottle. It was clear. But I also like that Crystal Pepsi stuff too. So
Lotus likes it clear.
Yeah, I
likes
like
the
it
clear stuff. Well, I was never a beer drinker, and whenever I tried to choke it down, it was always terrible. I remember one night trying to choke down beer, and my buddies got Old Milwaukee Tall Boys, and he kept it under his bed for the week. So by the time we got to it, I had warm Old Milwaukee Tall Boys, and I couldn't choke down more than 2 cans of that. Enough. I'm not going to work my way through beer anymore, like people say. It's an acquired taste. I'm not putting in the work. Sorry.
Beer's not acquired.
That's what everyone would say. No, beer's an acquired taste. You'll get to like it.
Not at all.
Now, Joe's mic is all robot.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting so upset.
Last week this happened, but it went away. I don't know.
Did it?
Yeah.
Normally, you're the one with the bad internet, so what's going on?
You're going to have to get out and come back in again.
I don't think you have to do that. Anytime you have that robot effect, all you do is just unplug the USB and plug it back in. It'll clear it.
Ah, okay. There you go.
Yeah, it's just a weird microphone thing that happens.
So then we would be drinking a lot of coolers. I'd go in with a buddy and we'd get like these giant 2 liters of what was the cheapest cooler called? Yeah, we got you. I can't remember what it was. And he was a fast drinker, so I would have to drink as fast as him to keep up. And so you're drinking like a liter of cooler in 2 minutes. And oof. It's like, that's a lot of work. Is this worth it? Are you feeling anything? No, I'm feeling full. That's a lot of drinking.
What, the
Hey,
coolers?
Joe. Yeah. What was that cheap?
Yeah, that's because
cooler.
that carbonation stuff, man.
What was that cheap cooler that came in the 2 liter back in the day? You remember
Boone's?
that? No. It's
Arnold and James? No.
It's called something like Canada Cooler or something like that.
Well, there was a Canada Cooler.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I didn't drink it because I was a real man.
And we'd be like hobos under a bridge drinking this before a school dance or something. Yeah. Anyways, shouldn't be talking about.
There was a wine. I think it was a wine, but it was called Mad Dog 2020.
Oof.
Did you ever hear of that? Mad Dog
Nope.
2020. Yeah, that was another young drink.
Sounds American to me.
Yeah, it came in a really cool bottle. I think it's actually wine, but they had all different flavors. And yeah,
I remember a buddy of mine. We had another friend who had turned of age before us, so we had him go get some stuff. And I wasn't drinking beer at the time, as I said. But the buddy of mine, he sent this other buddy to go get him beer, and I think he gave him like plenty of money, lots of money. So he thought he was getting like a case of 24 or a lot of beer. And the guy comes back from I think he went to the liquor store to get the beer, and he's just got 6. He's got a 6-pack, and it's Beck's. You know, Beck's beer, super fancy with the foil top on it. He's like, where's the rest of the beer? It's like, no, I got you the good stuff. This is good. You're going to enjoy it. He's like, I don't want to enjoy it. I want quantity. You know, he had spent like $30 on 6 beers. So Beck's beer. Don't buy Beck's. And it was super skunky from what I hear. Fancy. Is that what you drink, Joe?
No, I actually don't buy Beck's.
Oh my God.
Is it still bad?
Yeah, it just started again.
You guys just keep talking and I'll listen.
Unplug and plug in again.
I did. God damn.
And it was fine. Holy mackerel.
yeah, that's weird that he's having those problems. But no, Bill, I'm not a drinker. I just honestly, I don't drink pop. I don't drink anything. I just drink water. I'm just a water person.
No, that's good. That's basically what I do now, just out of laziness, because I'm too lazy to go to the liquor store. and I'm not having sugar, so I don't drink pop. And yeah, if I would like to drink more. I'm just too lazy to go to the liquor store and get anything. So what can you do? Hey, Joe, why don't you switch to your earpod microphones. Your head, your
Instead of
earbuds.
these over the ears.
What's that?
Instead of these over the ears.
Well, your mic is no good. Something's going on with it.
Still in there.
Yeah, I
I
wonder
if I unplugged like multiple times.
wonder if the mic's dying. So, Lotus, I've been talking about you for a while because you've been pumping out these videos of these giant robots you're assembling. Are you planning on taking over the world or something?
No. Like I said, it was just something from my childhood, and I just happened to start doing some research and found out that these things are still out there here and there, and so yeah, I just it's just the next part of my life, I guess.
It is fascinating to see
It's
these
fun.
things come
it's
together.
it's fun because you know what? It gets me away from the computer. It gets me to mechanically. Yeah, I love taking stuff apart and put stuff together. I mean, it's just really relaxing to me to do that. So
I've I've never heard of the pizza place you mentioned where these come from, but
Mhm.
I imagine I've seen it in like pop culture representations of these giant animatronic things that play guitar and sing and all that. So I get what they are. I can't picture the pizza place.
yeah, it's. I'm guessing that it probably wasn't. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is everywhere,
Right.
and Chuck E. Cheese is that's the company that bought out all these other pizza places. So
Ah,
and they basically made their own. They reused the robots, so a lot of the Chuck E. Cheese actually had the same creative engineering robots. It's just that they would put their own character skins on top, and then they created their own. So the skeletons could be the same skeletons that I have.
ah.
So
It's interesting as you get into them to see the build. As I mentioned in the comments, do you always comment on Lotus videos?
yeah,
The build quality of these, in my mind, I would just think they were thrown together by somebody, but they
right.
were very well engineered and thought out.
Yeah, I
It's
mean this is all solid. It's solid core
yeah.
aluminum. I don't know what gauge it is, but it's literally all solid. All of the Heim joints, all of the I mean, everything is just, like I said, and these have a date stamp on them of 1982. So, I mean, they're pretty old. They're, and to survive, you got to think, these pizza restaurants were open for, what, 10 hours of the day. So, let's say they do a show every 15 or 20 minutes, that's a
Mhm,
lot of wear time, a lot of run time on those robots.
mhm. Yeah. Do you want to reveal any behind the scenes information for us, like how many of them you actually have? Is that something you're willing to reveal?
Well, right now I have two, and I'm working on getting some additional ones as well. I mean, I would like to be able to put together the band. I would like to actually have the whole band because I mean, it's a um, the official creative engineering, w- the design of everything, and the inventor, and he's still alive, the inventor of this, and he was a big Beatles fan, so all of the songs are basically Beatles songs that are, basically redone. So basically, they would do covers of a lot of Beatles songs, and so it's really cool. I like I said, I would really like to get at least enough characters to be able to perform the majority of the album that they've
Wow.
created.
That'll be something. Is it a potential for you to play any kind of music in it and they react to it, or do you need some kind of program
It's
script?
Correct. Yeah, it's all programming. So what they would do is they would basically play a song, and then you would use like finger inputs to tap to open. Like if you're making the mouth move, you would just tap on this pad, it's basically just a switch. You would just tap on the switch, and that would create these data bits that would filter into a computer system. And like I said, this is back in 1982. So we're talking computers that are, you know, it's very basic ones and zeros being processed,
Yeah.
kind of like an on off, on off, on off. So if you think about how a mouth moves, and you're watching, you're listening to a song, and you're watching the character, and you're just tapping on this momentary switch to make that mouth open and close, and if you do it well enough, it'll make it look like that character is actually singing the song. And every one of the movements has to be programmed separately. So you have to go through the whole song to program just the mouth. Then you have to listen to the song again to program the eyes. Then you have to listen to the song again to program the guitar strum. Everything it's individually programmed for each movement. And the characters have roughly about 20 to 22 movements a piece. So
yeah, that it is. It's something seeing those videos come together, and you're pumping them out. They're like daily at some point.
No, I mean, I've slowed down. I was just really excited to start working on them, and like I said, I've been doing some yard work and stuff. So my normal home duties have kind of taken over, and I've been trying to get things done around the house. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. It's like I said, it's a relaxing thing for me to do, and it's not sitting from the computer all day. It's something mechanical, and I enjoy that.
Well, it's good times, and people are enjoying it. You're getting lots of people commenting on your stuff, so
Yeah,
it's hitting the right nerve.
Yeah, definitely surprised at how many people are interested in this technology from the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like you say, it's the jumps we made in computing power from the 80s is just incredible. I was listening to an interview. He's an F-35 test pilot, but he got his start on the CF-18 when they first came in to Canada, like in the early 80s. And he said the computer systems on board was basically 2 Commodore 64s in this super Gen 4 jet. So it's wild, the jump in technology we've had computing wise.
I loved my Commodore 64. I just that was the one system that my parents saved up as much as they could, and bought each piece individually. And I remember the first game we had was Pac-Man. That was the cartridge, because if you remember, the Commodore 64 actually had a cartridge slot on the back of it.
Sure.
So if you couldn't afford to get the 5 1/4 inch floppy, you could start gaming and start using the computer if you just bought the the all-in-one keyboard computer. It was just one unit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I mean, you just needed a TV, and then eventually we got, they saved up and they got the special little monitor, which was expensive. I think that monitor was like $900 to $1,000.
Holy mackerel!
That little, I think it was probably only like 13 inches, maybe 14 inches. I just remember it was like a white cabinet, and but yeah, we got the monitor, and we had the cassette tape deck, and then we had the 5 1/4 inch floppy drive, and then we had the dot matrix printer, that thing.
For the 64 printer.
Yes. Oh. They sold a whole complete suite of accessories for that.
Well, I had the VIC-20, of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With the tape drive. And
well, the VIC-20 came out after, right? That was the newer model that came after the 64.
The VIC-20 was the baby to the 64.
Okay. Gotcha.
The VIC-20, 64, and then they had the 128, which was
the
like,
128, yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. That's a Cadillac right there.
Yeah. And then as I grew up, I actually I ended up getting an Amiga.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah. I saved up my money to get the Amiga, and then so that was really revolutionary to have that. So Commodore, they did some good stuff,
Yeah, for sure. In college, that's what our editing program was, on an Amiga. Yeah. Is
Yeah,
Joe?
Do you remember the video toaster?
Yeah, for sure. That's
Yeah.
what we used. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I always wanted to. I always wanted to use that.
Who is it? It's Conan's brother. This Conan. He wrote the video toaster.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it is wild. So, yeah, like that was still that it was an offline edit controller. It wasn't non-linear editing, but using the Amiga to do offline edit controller. So it made stuff easier, but
so the video. See, I was under the impression that maybe it was just a rumor or stuff. Do you remember the show Babylon 5?
Yeah.
Wasn't those scenes rendered on the video toaster? Or rendered with the video toaster?
Yeah, for sure. I bet you. For sure.
Yeah. That was one of the things that was that I remember is Babylon 5 had something to do with video toaster.
Yeah, the Amiga was the power behind all of it. You could use it as your video edit controller as well as your graphics rendering engine using video toaster. So yeah, it's wild stuff. Joe just quit. He's just like,
what happened?
I'm done. You guys and your robot talk.
Oh, he's a Commodore 64 fan. He should have. He's a big fan of that.
Maybe he knew he wouldn't be able to keep up with the Commodore chat.
No,
he'd be found out.
Well, if we want to keep on talking about systems, so after that, I ended up getting the Philips CDI. So I don't know if you remember that. That was a CD-ROM based system, and it was interesting because the CD-ROM actually was inside of looked like a little like a cassette almost. Like the CD was inside this little case, and then you would slide this whole entire unit into your CDI, and then it would start playing the game. I remember my first game for that was Lemmings. I don't know why, but Lemmings was the first game that I played on that.
Do you still have it?
No.
Oh,
all that stuff. I wish. I mean, it would be fun to pull all that stuff out, but no, I don't. I have no idea where that stuff is. That was all my growing up days.
Yeah, our VIC-20, it ended up dying, or something happened to it, and we took it to the town computer guy, and he's just like, to replace what needs to be replaced, it's just not worth it. So we had to put her down, just like an old dog.
Yeah.
But he wanted to keep it, so he got to keep it for some reason. He's like, "Oh, I'll keep it if you want. If you want, don't want to do anything."
Man, that's a little suspect there. Yeah, I don't think this is good anymore. But you know what? I'll keep it if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Omega
Race. That was my favorite game on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I always played Pole Position. Pole Position was a favorite game of mine. Dig Dug. I loved playing Dig Dug on the Commodore 64. Let's see, what else did I play? And it was always the same command structure. I don't know how the VIC-20 was, but it was load quote star quote comma 8 comma 1. That was how you load up any game. It seemed like any game you just type that in and it would start booting the game.
Yeah. Yep. Same thing.
Oh.
I've probably told it before, but I had I'd get the computer programming books and with the VIC-20, and they would have sample programs you could program in there, and spent hours typing in a program into that VIC-20, and it had such little memory. It ran out of memory before I could finish the freaking program.
Right.
So angry. Oh my God. I was ready to throw that across the room. All that work for nothing. And I'm like, maybe it'll work even though it's not done. Nope.
Yeah.
Good old Commodore.
Yeah, Yeah, I think my first little program that I did, so there was a candy bar back in the day called the Score bar. I don't even know why I picked Score, but it was a cool looking wrapper at the time, and so that was one of my projects in school. I remember is that was on the Apple IIe that the school had at the time. And so I basically just mapped out. Basically, what it did is my program would just draw the candy bar on the screen, so that I just programmed all the points, all the plot points for it.
Hmm.
And then when I executed, it would just draw. It would draw out that candy wrapper, the Score bar candy wrapper on the screen. I think I still
Nice.
actually have that. I have to find that because I think I still actually have that program of like how I plotted it all out and everything. So I need to. That reminds me. I need to take a look, see if I have that. That'd be cool. It'd just be cool to look at it.
Now, I took computer programming in high school. I don't remember what kind of computer it was. It was some kind of big old metal monstrosity
Hmm.
that had a trackball built into it.
Hmm.
You didn't use a mouse. You used this trackball, which was
Okay.
built into it somehow,
Hmm.
into the cabinet. And I can't remember if the monitor was built into it or not, too. We were learning BASIC on it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what everyone learned then. But I remember that trackball. And I don't know what kind of computer that was. But
Yeah, it's
the whole
interesting. I mean,
computer lab was filled with them.
I wonder if that was like a custom enclosure for education or something like that. That's interesting. I wonder because the majority of schools, I think majority of schools were using apples at the time, right? I mean, I know a lot of schools around here would just use like I said, Apple IIs or Apple IIes, stuff like that.
Well, was Apple wasting its time with BASIC? Or was that past
No,
BASIC at that
I
time?
don't think so. I think what Apple did is I think they originally, you know what? They may have originally played around with because I know their main thing was the GUI that they put on top of whatever the underlying. I mean, right now it's BSD, so it's Unix. It's been Unix for years. So I don't know if it started out as Unix though. I'm kind of thinking that it didn't. So I don't know what the underlying programming was back when it started, but I know for at least the last 20 years it's been a Unix based operating system under the hood.
Hmm.
But
Well, I don't know how you got me talking about Apple on this show. But,
yeah, see?
typical Lotus.
And you want to talk about Apple? That Apple Watch actually is FDA certified because you talk about health things, and you're right. There's that heart sensor that's in the Apple Watch. They had to actually get FDA certification for that, so that way people don't have a lawsuit.
Yeah, there you go.
So
That is true. I did read the Apple Watches do have the oxygen sensor thing in it. And I don't know if it's at the top of the apps. So you kind of got to dig around to find it or something.
yeah.
The heartbeat, everyone's got that. It's the
Yeah.
blood oxygen sensor that is the good one to have.
See, I mean, I was kind of thinking the other. So I use I have the AirPods and the AirPod Pros. I've got the old version and the new ones, and I was thinking it would be good for them to put a sensor in your ear, right? Because wouldn't you think that would be a good way to tell temperature and monitor things from the ear?
Yeah, that's kind of brilliant.
I was just like when this all was virus, I'm because I wear those things every day, every time I go outside to walk or if I'm cutting the grass or whatever, and the other day I put them on. I'm like, that's interesting that Apple didn't put any kind of sensors in here. You would think they would, because it's in your ear, right? That's how they take your temperature when you go to the doctor, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they can get all kinds of stuff out of it. That's kind of brilliant.
So
I get half of that patent since it's on this show.
All right, yeah, that's okay. So Apple, if you're listening, I know you guys are out there. Apple, you're listening, right?
Holy mackerel! No, that is smart, man. Really?
But why? But forget. Okay, so let's forget about Apple. Why isn't Samsung has the Samsung Buds, right? So
Yeah.
why aren't any of these companies incorporating sensors? Like, I mean, they've got the sensor on the watches, but why aren't they doing anything for the ears? You know, is that, I don't know. It's just interesting to think about.
Maybe maybe you can't, because when you use the ones you stick in your ear, you have to constantly take the plastic thing off because you have to get a perfectly clean surface every time. Maybe that's it. And if it's any kind of at all moisture on it, you're not going to get an accurate reading.
Yeah, maybe that's what.
But I don't know. It seems like a great idea you got there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, all these earbuds now, they all have, pressure pressure sensors and, touch sensors on them. So they have all kinds of sensors, just to change songs and stuff. So, I mean, why can't they have something to, to monitor your, to monitor stuff that's happening right from your ear? And that's, normally a place that the doctor would use. So. We'll see. We'll see with this. I really feel this is going to change a lot of stuff. This whole thing. I know we don't want to dwell on that, but it's. I think we're going to come out. I mean, people working from home. I maybe built. Office buildings. Companies are going to realize that they can still survive with workers working from home. Do you think that? You think this is really going to change like everything as far as like the actual normal structure that we had before this?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say how productivity levels compared
Well, yeah,
from
that's
the
true.
office to the home.
That's true. Yeah, you really have to be your own manager if you're, to manage your time properly. If you're working from home. So yeah, maybe that's some data that they're going to be, getting from this as well. But
because I could just see myself, with the Homer and the glass duck that keeps hitting the no command automatically for him. Because potentially, even in my position, there is potential to do that from home to look after TV stations from home if you have the internet capability to do that. But I could see myself just, I don't know, set this up and then go look at something else for a while.
Yeah, they have because they have remote switchers and they have all kinds of stuff that they can you can do studio work from the home. So that's cool.
Yeah. So I see us. I don't know. Maybe a vaccine is on its way, but I see more potential for instant testing is the way to go. Like as you walk into your office, you're being tested. You don't even know it,
right?
And then they can head people off immediately. Nope, you're not coming in. You're showing this sign. You go take care of yourself, kind of thing. Go to a concert, everyone gets scanned on the way in, kind of thing.
I think that would have to be incorporated into, facial, I mean, I know they're trying to do, there's all this talk of facial recognition and, cameras. I mean, they don't do that here. That's not really prevalent here, but I believe like in Europe and stuff, there's cameras everywhere. Do you guys have cameras everywhere in Canada, or is it not stoplight cameras, but just like cameras that are monitoring everything?
Well, I bet you there is quite a bit, but who knows how many cameras there are really, but it seems like whenever there's a crime somewhere, there's definitely a camera that has caught it at some point.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just like, maybe like, government run, cameras that do facial recognition. And at the same time, they'd also be able to, do, monitoring, like you said, with temperature scanning, they would know who you are. I mean, it's kind of scary to think about that, but I think, that's probably it's a possibility, so they would already know who you are. Right. And then, they could tell, like you said, before you walk into any kind of a public building, even if you just go to the bank or something like that, I don't know. It's an interesting thought, but there's definitely going to be some changes that are going to come out of all this.
Well, definitely. There was a Quebec company that is about to push an app to marketplace that just by looking at your face, you don't even have to have like a finger sensor or anything like that. It is just gathering data from your face. It can tell by the color of the skin under your eyes, your oxygen saturation through that, and it can detect your heartbeat, all this kind of your temperature. I don't know, all this stuff just by the camera checking out your face. And they had the science to back it up. Apparently, this is what I heard last week.
Interesting.
And it's a pretty radical idea that just from the camera on your face for a few seconds can get all that information. Apparently, this is something that's been going around since the 30s. This ability to get that kind of info from just your face. I never heard of it, but apparently that could be coming out soon. So that could be that kind of instant scanner we're talking about that you could see.
I mean, I know Google and Apple actually they actually joined forces. That article came out, I think, on, was it Friday, where they're going to be doing some sort of a joint effort for proximity. They're going to use the low energy Bluetooth on your phone and basically be able to, if you opt in, it's going to basically map all people that are infected and people that are not infected. Like if you join into this whole experiment, it's going to show you where people that are infected actually are. So that was I didn't go too deep into the article, but that's something that Google and Apple is actually working on jointly. So there you go, Bill. Finally, Apple and Google together.
Yeah. So Apple will make it so that product won't last for more than a year. You know?
Yeah. There's got to be a kill switch, of course.
Oh man. So what else? What else has been going on? What'd you do all day today?
I installed so I bought retaining wall blocks, and what I did in my backyard is I just built like a two block high retaining wall, and just kind of did the rocks, like a little rock garden kind of a thing, where you have the white marble rock chips. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
yeah. So I did that, and I'm gonna probably put some nice little trees like on each corner, because I'm basically doing all this. I have like a concrete slab in the backyard, and I haven't really done anything with it ever since I had it installed. So it really wasn't a whole lot of, it wasn't a whole lot of nice, accoutrements to it. It was just basically just the concrete slab is just there, So I just wanted to make it look a little bit nicer, and so I started working on that. And
so that made the retaining wall easier if it just went on the slab, right? You didn't have to dig down.
No. I did it around the slab. So if you can picture the slab, and then you have the grass that's all the way around it.
Okay.
I kind of made it so I surrounded the whole slab with these retaining wall bricks. So if you can think of like a fortress, like I built myself like a fortress. So you got the slab, and then you've got this retaining wall. It's only two blocks high. I mean,
you got to dig those down though, don't you?
Yeah. It's a lot of work. You got to level it, and you got to measure it. I mean, it was a lot of work. So,
how far down did you have to dig before you're confident they're not moving?
Well, the cool thing is these blocks actually all came with it came with like a little ridge, and I didn't know what the ridge was at first, but what it does is it actually locks it into the ground. So the bottom of the block actually has like this little hump on it towards the back of the block. So there's basically like it's probably about a half an inch, and it's like a round, if you can think of maybe like a round bead that goes the length of the brick. And what it is it's actually there. So you level out your area, and then you just kind of take the block and just kind of wiggle it into the ground. After you're still digging, because you basically have to level everything out. But once you have all that dug and and leveled out, you just take the block, put it on the ground, and then you kind of take your hands and just kind of like you just rock it into the ground. You just kind of move it until it is where you want it, and that little hump actually locks it into the earth. So it's actually pretty cool. And then you just once you have your bottom layer all done, the top layer is much simpler. So
Yeah.
I did the bottom layer last weekend, and this weekend I did the top layer. So
that's more work than what I did today. That's for sure.
well, what did you do?
I can't stop watching the veterinarian shows on National Geographic.
No, I watched some of those. I know you were saying like Dr. Pol and stuff. I've seen some of those. That guy is crazy because he's all up in the he's oh man.
He wears cows for sleeves.
Yeah, pretty much. And it doesn't phase the guy. It doesn't phase him at all. Like he sticks his arm up. He's he does it. That's his job. So
yeah, I was Dr. Pol all day today. It was another marathon. I couldn't walk away. I couldn't stop. I wanted to stop several times. I'm turning this off, and I couldn't. It's ridiculous.
The one episode that I remember was there was a horse, and the horse was having some just digestive problems or whatever, and he figured out that the horse's stomach was twisted internally, and it was causing the horse a lot of pain. So he basically laid the horse down. Like he just kind of put him to sleep, not put him to sleep, but he just used something to allow him to lay down on his side, and he just starts massaging him, and he somehow untwisted this horse's stomach. I guess it's very loose inside these horses, their stomachs or whatever, and as they jump around, they can get tangled, I guess, internally.
That happens with cows a lot, from what I saw. For sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he fixed the horse. So
I've watched so much. I'm diagnosing things before the doctor can. I'm like, oh, the cow won't get up after just recently giving birth. That's milk fever. You're gonna have to give that cow a bottle of calcium. It'll jump right up. Sure enough, that's what happens. Dr. Pol, 77 years old, and he's doing all that.
Yeah,
running around.
But he's got his son working with him now too, doesn't he? Doesn't he have?
The son just kind of stands around.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
holds the reins, kind of thing. But I accidentally looked him up a little bit. I don't know what I put his name in Google for, and of course all this stuff comes up. And he actually got into trouble, as everyone famous will do. And I've seen him do this. He at one time had to suture up a horse that his leg got cut from a fence or something like that, right? He goes out to the farm, right? This is not the horse coming to the clinic.
Right,
He's out in the barn in his big old rubber boots and his overalls. And so he just goes to his Jeep, he gets his tools, sutures up this horse, good as new, antibiotics, boom, this one, good to go. We'll check you in a week, kind of thing. He ended up getting in trouble for this sort of thing. A viewer complained to the vet council board of whatever, the overseeing branch. And he got in trouble because he didn't wear a cap. He didn't wear a gown. He didn't use, maybe he used gloves. I'm not sure. But all this ridiculousness that's, he's a rural vet, out in the pasture. And yet he got his wrist slapped for not being cap and gowned for that operation.
That's just people being people. That's just as bad as a keyboard warrior. I mean, it's really a shame. It was
a viewer that complained about how he did it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And he's been doing it for 40 years, and a viewer is complaining how he did it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that was me all day today, Dr. Pole.
So, talk about animals. Did you finish Tiger King? Because I gotta say, it's it's a wacky story. I'm hoping that
Yeah.
you're gonna say you finished it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What a crazy story! I mean, in and out. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but in and out of these lives of these people and all of this stuff. Crazy.
It I forget who the people are on YouTube. Is it Screen Rant or someone like that? They do these pitch meetings where this one guy, he plays both sides of the conversation. Like he plays the Netflix executive and he plays the guy pitching the show.
Okay.
And he's done hundreds of these.
Okay.
And it's very funny. And so he did a Tiger King pitch meeting where he's pitching this idea of Tiger King. It's only like 4 or 5 minutes, but it is so funny because he picks on every point how, like, you know, all these wild, insane things happen within one episode, and the executive's like, "Oh, so that's it? Just 1 hour, right?" And it's like, "No, it gets crazier every episode. This happens."
Right.
And yeah, that's the thing about that series. The personalities get stranger and things go wildly out of hand. And
Yeah.
cat people, man. The characters that show up, like you're 4 episodes in and a new character shows up and that new character is just as bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the guy, I don't remember. I think he was a doctor. They referred to him as a doctor. It was the other guy who owned a safari or some sort of a tourist. He said he was trying to save. He was the one with the multiple wives. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that guy was super eccentric. I mean, this guy, he was making the women change their names. What a crazy, and he felt that he wasn't even crazy in all this. Like,
yeah, he was full on cult leader.
Right. He even said on camera, he's like, "Listen," he's like, you're dragging me down this line of questioning. I'm not a cult, Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's when that show first started showing up on social media, the thumbnail would show up and everything. I thought it was a spoof. I thought it was just some kind of mockumentary starring, I think his name is Thomas Lennon. You know who I'm talking about? The guy from Reno 911.
Oh, Reno 911. Yeah.
I could have swore that was just him in a wig, right?
Right.
And turns out it's a real show. But it all comes back into all is circular because Colbert has done interviews in quotations with the Tiger King, and it's Thomas Lennon playing the Tiger King on the Late Show.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a wild one.
Yeah,
there is supposed to be a new episode of it coming out.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely making its rounds. There's actually for the action figure world, there's actually someone making a custom G.I. Joe action figure with Tiger. So it'll be Joe Exotic, G.I. Joe Exotic, with Tiger as the accessory, and his gun that he carries, and
yeah, there's movie talk. It's
I think they were saying they're possibly going to reopen the case or something like that. There could be some stuff that people have been watching. They watched the Netflix thing, and there's new clues in there for other stuff, because there's some stuff that still is unanswered, with that whole Carol lady and the husband and all that stuff. So
who, Carol Baskin?
Yeah,
just ask Carol Baskin.
Oh my goodness, these characters.
Oh yeah, she says that's not how you get a tiger to eat something. You cover the person with salmon oil. That's how you get a tiger to eat someone. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, So yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
well, I was going to say that just talking about Carol. Do you remember the part where Joe hires someone that looks like Carol to feed the tigers? I mean, that part too was just funny.
There is a lot to go into that show. Like, I start reading after you finish the show, start looking it up online, because there's so many good tidbits of extra material there. It's just cat people. But yeah, we are past time, but since we're talking about Netflix, I did want to mention the latest show I'm watching on Netflix, and I highly recommend it to everyone. Here comes your highly recommended Netflix show of the week. Are you on any show on Netflix right now in the middle of any show?
No, I finished Ozark season 3, and yeah, that was pretty much it.
Have you seen a show called Kingdom on the main page?
No. What is that about?
Kingdom. The thumbnail will be like it's like a period, like a Asian guy with a sword.
Okay.
A period piece. It's a South Korean political period horror series set in the 1600s. It is wild. It is wild. It is. So,
okay.
Yes.
I'll cue that up.
So the 1600s in Korea, that is after Japan invaded them. So there was some huge war. They got Japan out of there, I guess. And it's under feudal law, kings and whatever. And the whole population is trying to get past this whole war thing. So they're starving. The general population doesn't have enough food. And of course, all the noble people are fine,
Right.
And something happens. A virus is spreading across this country.
Okay.
But the virus is part of the story with the political scene, because you have a prince whose father is the king, but the king also had a young wife who's pregnant, who could deliver the next in line, because the crown prince is actually a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
So if this queen delivers a legitimate son, that could, what I'm saying? There's whole political thing involved while this virus is going around. Now it's no spoiler to say that the virus is a zombie thing.
Oh.
So it's triggering this zombie apocalypse in feudal Korea. And the zombies are super fast, twitchy. They are horrific. It's scary. It's a thriller. When you first see the horde of them take over, it is very scary.
So is it just like World War? Because World War Z had really fast, twitchy zombies.
Yeah,
and they would climb and they would learn.
Yeah, it's not so much the anthill type of zombies
Gotcha.
That I've seen yet. I haven't seen the whole show. I'm only like 4 episodes in.
Okay.
But they are super fast zombies, and they will leap at you and stuff. They are just mindless, insane carnivores that they don't bother with each other. It's the zombie thing where they don't mind each other, but they have to go after human meat. And they don't care about animals either. It's just human meat. Oh. And but the hook is, maybe I shouldn't share that. That might be a spoiler. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it as.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. So
as the virus being a zombie thing, and it is very, very scary zombies, and the gestation period is almost instantaneous.
Oh wow!
So that's what makes zombie stuff even scarier, right? It's like a virus that leaps immediately to the next person. So it's like a wave coming at you. Yeah. If one person gets inside your wall, it's unstoppable at that point. So all set in this backdrop of a Korean 1600s political thing. And the costuming is all very good. The sets are well done. It's
how old is the series? Is this what year did it come out in?
It's new.
Is it newer? Okay. Cool.
I think they might be in their second season now.
Oh wow.
I'm
Okay.
not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I give it some good thumbs up. It's very exciting.
Cool.
Looks good. The acting's good. You can get the English dub. I don't watch the English dub. I watch the, subtitles. So I listen to the original Korean. And Netflix does a thing where the subtitles is it's subtitles, right? It's not transcribed script. So you get everything, which I don't like. Like you get the horse neighs,
Right.
I get sound effects written out. I don't need that stuff. I wish they would just have like scripted subtitles, not all the sound effects stuff. But
so do you do the subtitles because you want to be more engaged, or like what is that just always your preference because you want to hear the native language, or
I don't ever hear a good English performance, in the dubbing. So it does take me out of it. I mean, if someone comes along and does a really great English dub, maybe I'd listen to it, but it seems whenever I try, it's just not good.
Yeah, just chalk it up to an old kung fu movie,
Yeah. It's funny, some of the translations, right? Like they're on their horses and they're going, "Hia! Hia!" That's obviously "hia," but in the translation, it's "giddy up, giddy up." Really?
Right.
So, oh well, take what you can get. Still good. Check that out. Kingdom on Netflix.
Cool.
Other than that, I'd say we've done a good job here tonight. What do you think?
All right. Yeah.
I think we've said it all. What else can people learn from what we've said?
Yeah, I think.
In summary, Lotus has a YouTube channel you should check out called Lotus Stark. He's doing some amazing things with some robots, which he may or may not program to hunt and kill his neighbors with. Don't know. Check that out. It's very, very popular. For my part, you can check out this YouTube channel. It's got stuff going on. Definitely hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. I'm telling you, hit the subscribe button. Let's get that subscription up. We have interesting stuff going on. I just did a live stream last week where I went through some of the record collection, and maybe you'll think that's boring or whatever, but I thought it was kind of fun. And I kind of, to be honest with you, forgot how peaceful it is and how fun it is just to sit on the floor and flip through some records. So that was fun. We went from Z to S, and later this week we'll go from S to I don't know what. And there may even be some special guests on that one, so look for that on this channel. Other than that, you can follow me on Twitter at STCPod, and I even did an Instagram post the other day. So yeah, maybe I'll get that going again. Lotus, where can people find you nowadays?
I am just on YouTube. That's it. Lotus Stark at YouTube.
Oh, okay. No Instagram anymore either?
No, I don't have Instagram, no Twitter. I shut all that stuff off a couple of years ago.
Yeah. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
It's hard keeping up with all that crap. Now people want to do Discord.
Yeah, exactly. Discord. Everyone's doing Discord. And it's just like, there's just all this stuff, and it's just one thing after another. And TikTok and Discord. I mean, TikTok is, younger thing, but I see there's adults that are doing TikTok stuff.
Yeah. It's too much. You're doing too much. So, Lotus, again, thank you for bailing me out on this show and helping me out.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good times. Good chat. So that's it. That's episode 276. And we'll hopefully see you next week. Who knows what Joe's going to say after he bailed on this one. Maybe it'll be solo time again. I don't know. Look for us here live on this YouTube channel, and subscribe to the podcast over on your iTunes or your Google Play Store, whatever you want. We're there, and it'll be there It's been happening Mondays. You'll see it populate on Mondays, this show. But just keep an eye on things. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button. Then you'll be aware when these things happen. Sound good? All right, Lotus. Thanks.
All right.
You wanna kill it for us? Say the words.
Posted and hosted.